Hi everyone, this is Charu and this is your weekend read as we have a few key aspects in play this weekend which I wanted to do a quick update on. Venus and Uranus, they're meeting at 17 degree of Taurus this weekend. The road to it is full of unreliable hard choices which could be in form of love affairs, sudden expenses, sudden unfortunate separations, impulsive buys, unique fashion choices, bold beauty changes which are unique in nature, or creative outputs that essentially propel us forward. These are all sudden, impulsive, hard changes which move us forward and out of stagnancy. There is a snap from the past essentially and moving out of inertia, which happens when Venus and Uranus meet. There is also financial volatility and sudden financial surprises that come with it. It's a very stimulating aspect, so stay open to the unexpected because there is a purpose to it which will be made evident next week. And give yourself the permission to be yourself, to reduce the internal conflict or the internal dissonance, which essentially gets heightened if you do not allow the freedom to be yourself when this aspect is playing out. Sun also met Uranus at 14 degree of Taurus on 5th of May as part of the solar eclipse that happened in May. We spoke of it by Zodiac in my article that I had done by Zodiac sign. I'll link the article below, which you can check to see what part of your life you can expect an irrevocable shift in. Because that opens a new direction, which was promised by the eclipse in Taurus in May, which will only get activated in January of 2023. This is very much a part of the process, that is activation of the May Solar Eclipse in Taurus, which will only be seen fully activated, and hence the outcome of that, the change of that, the result of that, the new start from it will only be physically visible in January of 2023, which will bring either new sources of income, new economy, new earth, financial and creative shifts, which are one of the kind in our life. But as I spoke in the eclipse video in May, the road to it requires certain changes. It will come with draining the old economy to replace it with the new one. Similarly, for each one of us, there will be these mini starts that we are observing now, which will lead us to the final shift. Bit by bit, we will move away from a fixed structure to another more stable and long-term change, especially in our financial life, in our hard choices, which could be in our personal life, as well as in our creative choices. These are significator of creative changes. These are significator of heart changes. These are significator of opening up of self-expression. Fasten your seatbelts because this is a very nervy aspect as we observed through the eclipse in May. Uranus shocks our nervous system because we literally are moved out of a stagnant, stale area of our life. So there is some amount of dissonance that comes when you suddenly move out of a fixed structure, and it shocks our nervous system. And you can observe that I'm a Uranus dominant person. So whenever some transit like this, which activates my natal Uranus happens, I need to take something to calm my nervous system down. I personally do it using chelated magnesium. It's not a medical advice. You can choose what calms you down or keeps you grounded. Grounding techniques work very well during this time, and they are needed to calm the nervous system down at this stage, especially if you have planets or key points at around 17 degree of fixed signs. So around 17 degree of Taurus, Scorpio, Leo or Aquarius. Now that's around 7th or 9th of month born. Especially 7th or 9th of month born for Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. So that's around 8th of May born, 9th of August born, 9th of November born, and 7th of February born. Even though all of us will feel this aspect, but these are the specific dates born individuals whose sun will be aspected and is being aspected by both Venus and Uranus. So you can expect some dramatic physical shifts if you have planets or points around 17 degree of fixed sign, 17 degree of Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, or around 8th of May born, 9th of August born, 9th of November born, and 7th of February born. Threads are broken here. I cannot underestimate how nervy that can feel. Threads are broken because new roads need to be made. And those new roads, they are exciting in nature, but they are in fixed part of your life. This is a fixed part of our life which is changing. So they are exciting, they are closer to who you are as a person, and you're shown clearly that there is an alternative, there is an option. Especially with Venus, we are shown that there is a new way of earning income, a new way to have freedom in your creative expression, a new way to live and love, creativity, money and finances, where we do not have to compromise our individuality, where we do not have to compromise our freedom and our authenticity. But it needs work. This kind of freedom comes at a cost, and the cost with Taurus or any earth sign is normally of consistency. It needs work, it needs consistency, it surely needs a plan. We also have Mercury trining Pluto this weekend, so there is no better weekend but this one to do all that planning that is needed. The influence of this aspect will extend all the way to Monday, and it will come with economic and financial surprises, as we all are already seeing. These are mini steps which are taking us from an old economy to a new economy, which will be birthed next year. But as I spoke in the Scorpio eclipse, there's a draining of an old economy which happens with it, which we are all in the process of. This is not financial advice, but in our individual capacity, we will be well placed to proactively make those changes, to proactively move in that direction. And next week, when we have Venus and North Node meeting, you will find that there will be some fated interactions which will show you in no uncertain terms what those new opportunities could be, what those new sources of income could be. On 16th of June, next week, we would have Venus and North Node meet at 22 degree of Taurus, when you can expect some of those fated shifts made evident to you. This is especially true for creative choices, financial choices, and hard choices in our personal life. So love, money, as well as creativity. We can expect some fated shifts which happen around 16th of June. And this is the weekend when we emotionally detach from an old way of being to move to this new direction. Coming back to this weekend we also have Mercury making a trine with Pluto, while Moon is in Scorpio. These are very intense transits. When they happen together, they're very obsessive, very intense, especially in verbal communication. This is a recipe of communication of permanent endings in some ways. We can resolve to end an old chapter or an old way of being and be very firm in our mind to have a rebirth in a new direction that's far from where you have been. That's really different from who you have been. So in some ways, past can be firmly left behind in rear view mirror with this aspect. Especially mentally, you can switch off and channel away from an old way of thinking. You can also use this for very transformative commitment in form of a communication, which could be a verbal communication with somebody, or if you want to influence somebody, this is an amazing aspect to influence somebody about your perspective. But a firm commitment, a verbal commitment, a business commitment, a signed commitment is made to something. And this is completely different and possibly bizarre or something that is away from tradition. But when you do something away from tradition, in a part of your life where you used to have some kind of grounding, you need to still set up some set of rules. You cannot just disrupt yourself psychologically without having a plan. And that's why this aspect of Mercury trine Pluto, along with Venus conjunct Uranus, is very, very beneficial, because it just doesn't uproot you, it also helps you set a plan forward. In all of this volatility, something that is away from tradition is pursued, that moves your heart. Our mind is bound to get obsessive. We can get really deep into researching into something, and our speech can get very, very firm, and words will have profound and transformative impact. This is especially true in your personal life, where you need to be careful, where you could have some very strong words exchanged. Choose something good and constructive to be obsessed about that brings you value. More love, less talking, less obsessing, which comes with this aspect. Mercury in Taurus is trining Pluto in Capricorn. That's the aspect. It's playing at 28 degree. It's very supportive to earth signs. So Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, especially around 28 degree, which is around 19th of May born, 19th of Jan born, 20th of September born. They would experience this positive influence of a grounding earth trine, which can help them in some physical way propel forward. It provides grounding to a volatile time. It's the third time that Mercury and Pluto are making this beautiful positive aspect with each other. The first time that they met was on 28th of April. So it's possible that there was a business discussion or a thinking that originated on or around 28th of April, with revision which happened around 25th of May. And now we are finally setting our mind or closing the deal or formalizing some sort of documentation by signing off on it in flesh. This mental or verbal agreement can already see a positive outcome, which can be financial, creative, or personal in nature, around 21st of June. Now this is happening, all of it is happening around 28 degree of earth signs, so they are benefited the most. But this aspect supports going ahead on something, moving ahead on something. But the actual going ahead, in my view, the better date is 21st of June, because right now, because of Venus Uranus, we can be very impulsive. So use this time to go into details, flesh it out, just be sure. Anyways, it's the weekend. Make up your mind about how you want to move forward, and then around 21st of June is a better time to sign off, especially for around 28 degree of earth signs, which is Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, which is around 19th of May born, 19th of Jan born, 20th of September born. So that's what I have for you. Have a great weekend ahead. I'll see you in the next video now. Thank you.